Welcome to another edition of Damn TV with Damn Sam.
Well, good morning from a very cloudy Barnsley. Very interesting job today for all you property investors out there that like to do up houses and sell them, because you'll all have come across this scenario. So basically, you get a property and you have it damp proofed, and plaster comes in, skims it all. It's done to an excellent standard. You come to sell it, and what you start finding is certain areas you start getting patches, damp patches, and you think, what's happened? Why am I getting damp patches? So one on that wall, one at the bottom of here, chimney breasts, so patches on both chimney breasts at the bottom here. We had one round door. Hang on. So where this is here, round door. Now we put a damp system on this wall, on this property. So we did this wall here all the way on, insulated boards, fast plaster system. We did this wall here all the way on. We did all that wall across here, and we did return to there in insulated boards. And when I came back to have a look at it one day, they'd cut chasers into the wall all over, and then they got their own plasters. So we only put boards on, and they got their own plasters to come and skim it. And they were all finished, and then they asked me to come back and look at this bit here. Now they sent photos through, and straight away I knew what had happened, because I'd seen them chasers, and I said to him, your plasters will have put something on that wall, and it'll be touching masonry, because I can tell which type of damp it is. So I agreed to come and cut it out for him and show him, and so yesterday when I cut it out, big pieces of drywall adhesive straight onto the wall, and then we had door took out, because we put board system on when original door. We then took board out. There were a gap all the way down, and what plaster's done is just filled gap with finish straight onto brickwork. So we showed him that, and then he says, "Oh, there's these other patches," and I says, "Where?" And he pointed them out, and I says, "Well, we didn't do that wall, so I did like what I did. I knocked on wall." So we hit wall, and then I could tell there were drywall on, because it went solid. So knock, then solid. We had damp patch wall. We could tell that he's dotted a board on, and he's used gypsum adhesive. Then he points these two out on chimney breast. I says sulphate salts, all sorts going off there, earth, and so. His face is dropping because he's sold property, £100,000 odd. He showed me this bit. Again, had a little knot, sulphate salts coming through, sulphate salts on bottom here. So he's like, I looked at it and I thought, what can we do for him? It's either you hack it all off and put a new system in with a barrier system, or we put dry flex over it. We put dry flex over it back, and then it's going to be the same on these patches. So they get an option. You either hack it off or put that on. Now most people who's at that stage in selling a house, they're not going to want it hacking off. So we decided to put this system on, and we've explained to them that Basically you're covering our issue, and other issues might manifest further down the line. But for this particular customer, this is what they want doing. Bits that we put on will be guaranteed, but we can't guarantee he ain't gonna go to other parts. But we can give him option. Do you want us to knock it off at this stage when sales going through? Probably not. So this is today's job. So I've just cut all dry flex, just mixing up dry flex adhesive, put some SBR on, and then we'll stick that on. We'll get a sandwich and then we'll come back and skim it, and that's today's job. But I just thought it'd be interesting for all you property investors out there that use different trades, plasterers that are from a site that just dot and dab. I mean, to be fair with them, they don't know about damp. So all they want to do is get that area covered enough so they can skim it. And if it means skimming onto brickwork, they'll skim onto brickwork because they're rushing. They don't carry any polyurethane foam. They don't carry stuff what we've got. They just want to get that job done, get to the pub and get paid. And that's the problem you've got. So if you're not going to use somebody who works in remedial side to do your to do all your work, then you're going to get issues when it comes to this stage. So you have to be prepared. Now, the lad who's selling this property, he stood with me and I explained everything to him, and going forward he's learnt a valuable lesson, and he'll be able to sort of go in when if he does use plasters, and he'll be able to tell him, you don't skim onto the thing else you're coming back, you know what I mean, or we're not going to pay you or whatever. Because I mean I see this at least twice a month. I get phone calls, I get pictures sent, and a lot of the time it's heartbreaking for investors because they don't mean to do it. It's not their fault that things have worked out like this. You know what I mean? It's done to a brilliant standard, and basically because they've used maybe separate trades. If we'd have skimmed it, we wouldn't have got this. But obviously, plasterer were cheaper. What they wanted to use for skimming, because they've come from a site, they'll charge them day work and note. Is it going to be cheaper in the long run? We don't know, because the other thing is this property is going to have to be valued, and when valuer comes, if he spots anything in his report, it'll say that the person's got to have a damp and timber survey done, specialist damp and timber survey. So banks valuer, more and more nowadays, they're advising people, well, I'm saying advising, they're instructing people now, some banks, and they're saying you've got to get a damp and timber survey done. Rick's surveyors are now advising that you have to get a damp and timber survey done by a specialist contractor. And there's just, I was reading last week about a Rick's surveyor, and if it's you that's watching, I feel for you. He's gone to a property, and it was an expensive property in Devon. You can look it up online. And this property had it was a new build, and the builders should have put some kind of waterproof system, damp-proof system in. And when the surveyor, Rick's surveyor, went to check it out, he couldn't see a damp-proof membrane or a damp-proof course, and he didn't mention it in his survey to tell the customers to get instructed a damp timber specialist to look at it, and there were warning signs because it weren't done to a brilliant standard. And what's happened is that a judge at court has awarded the couple £750,000. I think it basically to rebuild the house, because they paid 1 point something million for a house. I mean, it'll come out at surveyors PI insurance, but he'll have learned an expensive lesson, and he'll probably not do it again. But we got sent this out because if you see something on your survey, you've got to instruct that a competent person looks at it if you can't find it. So that were a lesson for everybody. So basically, if a surveyor comes to this job and he picks up on something, his meter goes off, what'll happen is he'll instruct a damp and timber specialist to come out and go through this property. It'd be ironic if I get instructed to come and do it, but if they don't like me, I mean, I'm an average surveyor, they'll pick up on things, and then that might jeopardise sale, which it does a lot at the time. You either end up having to say, well, we'll knock this off or we'll knock that off, but it's just such a shame because house is finished, it's painted, it's done to a brilliant standard, people's come in, they've gone, wow, this is house for us, and then this starts happening. So it's an interesting lesson, and one that property investors need to sort of to learn, that if you have damp work done, other contractors might compromise it by work that they do, which plasters have compromised this. So that's Damp Sam signing off. I'm going to get this sorted out. So I'll see you later if I can get it. Damp Sam back again, and we're at back end of day today. And as you can see, we've put dry flex membrane on, we've let it set, and I've come back, stopped a bit later, just to trowel these up. So I thought, I'll make video while I'm still waiting. There's still another couple of trowels off. It's a warm day, I'm giving it 15 minutes in between, because like I said, it's still a bit, it's hanging a bit, so I get as long as I can for finish the set, but I've got it done it there. If you're only doing small areas, probably advise not to do that, because what we've done, we've put it on and then we've gone off and done other stuff, and then I've left apprentice on at my job just getting rid of some rubbish and stuff, and I thought, well, I'll come back here, it's pointless tourists being here, because it's basically a waiting game. Once you stick it on, you're just waiting to flatten off, waiting for it to pull in and for it to flatten off. So you've seen before that we had, we foamed it up, sliced it off, put some scrim on, that bit's done. So blended it in, that bit's done, just wants decorating. These bits here, same again, tool patches, just patched in, just want a couple more going over. We've put like decent sized patches on. If it starts coming through in other places, they'll have to ring us up and we'll have to see about getting something done then. So they're just going to have to decorate everything in once it's finished. So we've done back, that and this side. And I think he's got his money's worth out of me today, because I ain't charged him that much for this, and it should have been quite an expensive job. I ain't charged him a minimum, but give to receive and all that, it's karma. So you never know, I might win pools, or because I still do pools. I have a tenner a month, or something like that, something daft like that. Or lottery, might even win lottery. So yeah, lovely house, sharing about these damp patches. So it's a lesson for all your investors, for anybody that's renovating. Always check with somebody competent about what can happen regarding damp in your property. Just because I said before, skimming over walls, just because you can't see any salts, don't mean to say they're not there. So you get hidden stuff which is on chimney breasts. So it might be lovely and warm, and then the salts might have come through, but because it's not humid, they won't have showed up. So then once you start painting, a lot of moisture in air, then they start showing up, and then your arse falls out because you think, it's all finished, plasters have gone, what am I going to do? I know, I'll phone down Sam, see if I can get him to come out. And what happens when you phone me up? I say, send pictures through, let me have a look. And when I've had a look, I'll say, yeah, I can do your report, but it's going to be X amount of money. And I'll come and I'll look at it, I'll tell you what wants doing. I'll do a report, do your survey. You can get your survey and you can go, all right, well, we can go to see if we can get somebody else to do it if it's too expensive for us, to have me. And I will travel. I'll travel, I don't know, all South Yorkshire. Sometimes venture over into Manchester. I've been as far as Birmingham and I've been as far as Newcastle. So sometimes I'd go to London if you've got enough money. Right, so that's it. In fact, a guy asked me to go to Devon the other week, and it wasn't a big job, but and I would have come. You know, if money had been right, I'd have come. But I do understand that, you know, people are on budgets, and that's why, you know, you can get advice off me for free anyway. So you send stuff through, but my proclaimer, my disclaimer, not proclaimer. That's 5,000, what is it? I will walk 500 miles. My disclaimer is that any photos that you send through, it's purely on a visible basis. I'm not looking at them on site, so you can't take every aspect into consideration. And it's the same way, you know, if we do a video call and things like that, and so you're showing me around, sometimes it can take longer than actually driving there and back, because you say, you've got to just put camera up, no, can you just put it here, can you just put it here? And you don't get that full, you don't get what I'm not looking for. You can't see it as well as being on site, because you don't get full aspect. So I'm going to leave you now. So I hope you've learned something about damp issues in properties that get renovated. And people who, you know, if you're having work done yourselves in your property, you bought somewhere and you're having it done by somebody else, things to look out for. Chimney breasts, which can be invisible damp stuff. Up top, down at bottom, in bedrooms at top. 9 times out of 10, it's not your flashing and it's not your gutter and it's not that stuff. It's inside your chimney breast that's getting wet and salts have migrated from. So you can spend a fortune on roofers going up and then pointing your stack, putting your flaunching rate, putting your new flashing in, putting a couple of loose tiles in, and then saying it'll be right, and then you ring roofer up, it's still wet. I think it's coming in. That's what I hear a lot. It's still coming in, or it's come back. Now it hasn't come back. You haven't sorted the problem out, which is salts in your chimney breast. They need a barrier system on. So that's either hack it off, put your barrier on once it's hacked off, and then reinstate your plaster, or you've got your dry flex method by Safeguard. You can put patches on and then hope that it don't spread further on. So that's the thing you've got to bear in mind, that other areas salts could come through. I mean, that's not going to so much start spreading for miles, but other areas, salts could come through in other areas. But that'd be the same if you hacked it off, if you just hacked the patch off. You know, salts could come through further down or further up or whatever. So it's however you want to do it. If you want to knock it off, you knock it off. If you want to put dry flex method on, put dry flex method on. So again, I was signing off before. If you think you've learned something, share the video with someone. Get them to subscribe, get their mates to subscribe,
because next video might be some damp what's in your property. It might be what's in your house, and that might be a problem that I'm talking about. And if it isn't, send me put a link on here and I'll probably talk about it in the next video. Or look back through catalogue. I might have mentioned it in others. So that's Damp Sam signing off on her. I'm going to look at the house tonight anyway. So it's a 1-bedroomed house and all. 5 o'clock I've got a viewing. 1-bedroomed in Barnsley somewhere. And I'd never look at a 1-bedroom, but I went earlier on and just had a look outside, and it don't seem that bad. Looks like there's a bit of structural issues, but we'll have to see. So I'll probably update you on that later. See you later.
Thanks for watching another edition of Damn TV with Dan Sam. Please subscribe and please like the channel and